The last few weeks of Pokemon Winds and Waves leaks have been absolutely insane. We have a ton of different sources saying similar things, some sources saying a little bit different things, some sources coming out to claim that a certain Pokemon project has been canceled for a brand new replaced project, as far as the next Legends game specifically goes. And today we have yet another source. Now this is a brand new source, guys. So of course, does that give them much street cred? Not exactly just yet, but we'll have to see, because it's not uncommon where we do get random sources every now and then claiming something that does eventually become true. Now I gotta say this, we definitely do have those people that are, I guess you could say, the most reputable leakers at this exact moment. And now, like I said, we have a brand new source that just dropped a ton of information, and we're gonna break it all down today. And now I do want to preface this, because this is a new account, take it all with a grain of salt. Just because they are claiming these things doesn't necessarily mean everything is true. Some of the stuff could be true, some of it could be fake, all of it could be true, or all of it could be fake. So with that being said, grab your popcorn and stay tuned, because we have a crazy amount of information in today's video. Like, it is genuinely a lot. And I just need to know your thoughts and your theories after watching this video and seeing all these big rumors, because some of these things are kind of crazy. All right, let's get right into it. Firstly, I want to start off with something from Central League saying that we have a new big rumor for the new types. This, I believe, coming from that Halo source a couple of days ago. It seems like this one is getting a little bit more traction again, because Central League, which is one of the biggest accounts right now, is posting about this, saying that Brout could be a grass and a ground, saying that Pombon could be a fire and a fairy, and then Gekwa could be a water and a poison. Personally, I think those all align up very well. The only one that sticks out to me is Brout. I don't know, the Brout typings, it's a little odd, but hey, I'd be down for that. Seems a little bit odd to me just because of what Brout looks like currently, but you never know. Things happen all the time, so. And before we talk about that brand new account who claims to know all this information, we have another little tease at maybe some sort of Psyduck regional variant, or maybe some sort of evolution. Could be a pre-evolution of Psyduck, or even just an evolution for Golduck, because currently Psyduck is only a 2-stage evolution line, being Psyduck and of course Golduck. Icy Boy saying it's kind of cold in here. Billy saying, you know, the eye emoji, which is a little interesting. And a couple of days ago, we did cover a little rumor about some sort of new Psyduck form, variant, evolution, pre-evolution, whatever. It could be anything. Take a closer look at the background. It's a snowy winter look. So could we be getting some sort of like ice type Psyduck evolution or regional variant? I think that'd be pretty sick. Let me know your thoughts about that one. Also, Billy posting DLC 1 with Chinchou and Lantern. So this is definitely referencing the Pokopia DLC. Maybe we could be seeing some sort of like new version of these Pokemon, just like how some of the new Pokopia mons are just kind of, you know, a different theme, like Pikachu, Professor Tangrowth, or Chef Dente. So that's a pretty interesting one in my opinion. And here's that brand new account that claims to know all of the truth and nothing but the truth. Like I said, I am skeptical. And now when we cover this stuff, I'm not going to claim that any of it is going to 100% happen, but some of their claims just make kind of logical sense. And we are living in a random time right now where totally random accounts have been accurate, have been correct with leaks. So the purpose of this is quite literally just to talk about it, theorize, and I just want to ask you guys, because you guys keep this community alive. So they said that the starter types that this person, the Halo person, said are real, but everything else is LARP, meaning not real. This person also claiming that that new Komodo dragon Pokemon, you know, leak that we've had for quite a while is actually going to be a regional Salandit evolution. That would be pretty cool, honestly, justice for Salandit, because I think this is a Pokemon that kind of has been swept under the rug in the eyes of most people. So I think a regional form would definitely be very cool. Now, this is something important to remember. We do have some leakers out there that are like basically band for band, like 99.9% accurate with most of them. Like, we do have accounts, you know, like Billy, who has had many leaks correct and probably will continue to get things correct, but also does kind of like to troll. Like, let's just be honest, that account likes to troll, which is why I don't always report on everything that they claim. That Billy does have some, you know, reputable leaks, and some are just, you know, to troll. That a new female character will join us on the Legend Tour is real, and that Surge's son is on the League Tour, and the CEO's son is on the Majin Tour, and apparently the son actually has Surge's Raichu, which I just talked about my theory about how I thought he would not have Surge's Raichu. I thought he would want to be different, but maybe it's true. Maybe he does quite literally have Lieutenant Surge's Raichu in this game, and I think that would be cool. I really do think that would be pretty cool. And we did have a source a few days ago bring up, you know, Generation 11, that like it's basically being decided on a couple of different countries. This post saying that the internal candidates are Australia, Greece, west coast of the US, including Baja California of Mexico, where this new account saying LARP, the region has already been decided and it's none of these. So honestly, that would not be too crazy to think that Generation 11 has already been decided because, I mean, dude, it takes years and years to create a brand new region and a brand new generation. So if they are just quite literally at that early stage of probably just where the region is going to be based on, I mean, that wouldn't be that shocking. Where do you think Generation 11 should be based on? I think Greece or Australia or even, you know, the west coast of the US would be pretty sweet in my opinion. I think there are so many just amazing countries out there that this region could be based on that we haven't had a Pokemon region of just yet. They also just posted this GIF, which I don't know, maybe some sort of like new regional form or I don't know, something like that. Maybe alpha Pokemon returning in this game. Also saying Child Heat for Netsu or the seed Pokemon. That's basically what we think this is. Like the seed Pokemon is going to be some sort of like ball of heat or sun. Kind of gives me Cosmog vibes in a way. Saying I got to admit the LARP ideas surrounding Legends 3 are a lot better than it actually is. Not excited at all. It may be the game that puts the series in the coffin after the Mega Dimension because a lot of people did not like the DLC for Legends ZA just because they thought it just wasn't worth paying for a DLC essentially. Apparently they are under significant pressure from Nintendo to deliver. The launch of the Nintendo systems aren't the best when it comes to lineups and the Switch 2 is no exceptions. With Winds and Waves, it's poised to cement the console's position, which makes sense. Like they need this game to be good so they could sell more Switch 2 consoles because Winds and Waves is not on the Switch 1. It's a Switch 2 exclusive game, meaning if it's a fantastic, you know, amazing Pokemon generation, it will sell more consoles. Saying as a result, this is basically why the game is delayed and has been pushed back to 2027 to just really debug the game and design this game to basically be as good as it possibly can. Saying the design and construction teams have already moved on, albeit at a reduced size, to developing the DLC, Zeus. The engineering team is still working on the main games in conjunction with contracted support studios. A major British quality assurance contractor, at least I'm pretty sure that means quality assurance, is assisting with this process. Hopefully the DLC is good. We know from the Terror Leak that they're going to pour like less money into it just because they don't, I guess, make the return on their investment as high as they would just making a brand new game. So I'm really hoping this DLC is worth it. I think it's important that they do pour a lot of money into it and effort. I think that Ball Guy has talked about the current development state with high accuracy, but not quite the level that it probably should have been. There are many major problems with the game currently, so I don't know what to think about that. We're still over a year away from this game dropping, so if there are issues now, that's fine because they have a long time to work on this game and make it the best Pokemon game of all time. Or at least, hopefully, the best Pokemon game of all time, or at least in the recent couple years, right? Saying all of this as well, which if you want to pause and read this, you can, but basically just talking about some of the issues that the game has at the moment. A few other issues, and apparently there are some in-game mini-games like jet skis from Wii Sports Resort and Capture the Flag mode. Here we have a lot of information about the new Battle Evolution gimmick, saying, I'm not a fan of the form shifting gimmicks, but Majin definitely is one. Majin, or should I say Netsu, is obviously centered around baby. That's what that word translates into, which I'm assuming is like, you know, the seed Pokemon, but in a rare twist, also involves the main legendaries in both lore and gameplay as well. Unlike, you know, a couple of last generations, the box legendaries have gimmick forms this time around, while Game Freak are ambitious with regards to Pokédex size around this time. Designing form changes has slowed things down, making another post saying that they're not sure what the Pokédex really looks like because very few Pokemon have been modeled and put in builds that this person apparently has access to. And I want to make that clear, like, apparently we're not 100% sure if this person is, you know, saying the truth or not. Some of the mons that were designed as a special Netsu species with stimulated form changes were Arcanine, Lucario again, and Kecleon, and then some placeholders, apparently 7 of them. I must reiterate that these things are all from a test build that could end up being completely different from what other leakers have. So, I mean, it is possible that there are leakers out there with, I guess, different versions of the game. I'm not exactly too sure how that specifically does work, but I guess that kind of makes sense. This person also does claim that this leak from the other day is false. Now, I don't know, because a couple of the Pokemon on here, we have had leaks from, you know, other very reputable sources. Some of the new Pokédex leaks on this picture, you know, kind of are just something new. So with that being said, I don't know, everything is up in the air at this moment. Somebody asked what the region is, saying region and major named character names are redacted in what I have access to. For example, the champion is simply just champion in the script. Yoda Force talking about like the size of the new Pokédex, you know, being the biggest brand new Pokédex with 156 Pokemon, talking about how we could maybe get like 200. This user claiming that this is an understatement. Now, this is what my theory has been for a while now, is because we know that the game is huge. Like, this game is going to be the biggest Pokemon game of all time. So with that being said, you'd think that the Pokédex is going to be pretty large. Definitely should be bigger than Unova, right? Pearl Enthusiast responding, making a very good point, saying if it's real, it's probably not best to believe any final number, because Scarlet and Violet did have a land Magikarp and Gyarados in the files before it released, and they were scrapped. So literally, Game Freak, Pokemon, Nintendo, whatever, they could scrap anything they want. They could change anything they want last second. And as of right now, that is all they have posted. And I want to reiterate this. I'm not trying to push this to you guys thinking that this is 100% real. This account is brand new. They have not been in the game for like very long at all. They could be 100% correct here. They could have some stuff correct or nothing. I just wanted to make this video because a lot of people have been talking about this. We have a lot of big, theory accounts, or just big, I guess, people in the Pokemon community leak space asking this guy questions and talking about it, like, is this guy real? Is he legit? What is he up to? I want to ask you guys though, how do you feel about all these, I guess, rumors in today's video? I just think that some of the points made do align up correctly with what we have known, and just could kind of, piece together just because of what this game actually is, if that makes sense. I will keep you guys updated if we do get any more information about this stuff specifically. And if you guys have not been following all the Pokemon leaks and stuff over the last few years, we definitely do have the accounts out there that are very reputable and have, a very, very good track record. And then of course there are the accounts out there that have come and go, or just post random stuff, or some real things, or some false, fake, just troll posts, I guess I'll say. Let me know all of your thoughts, any theories. If you are watching this far in the video, comment down below. Spider-Man, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.